MLFers, and welcome to the Midlife podcast, Happy Hour Live. I just noticed my sweatshirt draped over there. That looks lovely and professional. So, another day. I am going to click us live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, and one day we'll figure out how to go live on Instagram. I think next week is that week. Hi, Tracy.
Hi. Hello, Miss Kimby. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Remember, the fun part about Happy Hour Live is that you can come join us. So if you're not signed up yet, go to the midlife.co/happy-hour, and then you'll get the link every week to join us. So thank you to our audience member today. We're so happy you're here. And it's been a long time since we podcasted.
It has been. And last week you had a new friend.
I did have my friend Bro. Super fun.
That's so great.
Thanks for being here in our audience. We're so happy to have you. Today, I thought it would be fun. I sent to our on our newsletter a picture with a subject line that said, "Supermodel make me look short." And it was a picture of Paulina Porskova and I, who I had the pleasure of meeting last Sunday at a book signing. And I just wanted to talk about that experience today.
Love it. I can't wait to hear. I love that there was a moment, right, where it was like this invitation came and it's a no, right?
Oh, it's a no.
It was a no.
Love to, but pretty much every invitation feels.
And the feeling like, yeah.
Well, so obviously I've been thinking about it because I knew I wanted to talk about this today with you, and because I don't think that I'm unusual in these feelings, but there's like a sense of overwhelm, like I don't belong. Why would I go there? Like that would be amazing to watch it or listen to it, but like, how dare I be in the room? Right?
Amazing, right?
It's so amazing. And then it's actually the second time that she's come through with this group to like completely chickened out the first time. And then, of course, when you let something go, then you really, why didn't I just go?
And yet when it came around again, you were like, no.
But for those of you that listen to the podcast regularly, I hope that's lots of you follow us. I mentioned that this had come back around, pulling the plug. I think that was my chicken myself to do it, because if I told you about it, if I told some lovers about it, then my ego will kick in and say, well, you have to do it because you said it. I'm just trick myself.
Yeah. Is it your ego? It's I guess it's part ego, part courage, right? Like your bravery showed up. That was like, okay. Yeah. It's interesting though, right? Because it's like when it's hidden and you don't talk about it, I love that you bring that up. As soon as you like bring it out, it almost gets a little bit less scary too.
Yes.
Right? It's like when you keep it in, it's like, I'm not going to talk about it. It's so scary. And as soon as you talked about it, and it was like, kind of planted your own seeds within you of like, it's kind of available.
Yeah.
Could I?
And I don't want to go too far off on a tangent about this, but I often say like talk to the person in the room, and I feel like that is such a good set like into this. But I just want to mention, we spin in our own head about like we're angry at a partner or like a child, spouse, whatever, and you're having inside. It's amazing what a release valve it is when you say it out loud. Like, hey, you know what? I'm actually upset about X, Y, and Z. So I think it was the same mechanism. When you say it out loud, it just takes away from
it. Totally. So it's so fun because that's not just applying to a relationship with another. You just applied it to the relationship with yourself. Like, wow, it works to even just kind of say what I need to say to myself, or just work it through out loud, because, that's how I always feel about saying it out loud, or writing it down, or, just making it real so you can see it, you can hear it, and then it has different energy. Like you said, like when it stays in, it's heavy and it's like charged. And I feel like once you bring it to the light, or you bring it out and you talk about it, or you laugh about it, or you cry about it, or whatever it is, you kind of lose the charge, like you're saying. Yeah. And so then it's like, I can think about it other ways, maybe.
Right.
So cool.
And then the other part of it was, though, that I brought it up to you, who I know is my biggest cheerleader, that would stray. And so I think by saying it out loud to you too, it's like a litmus test. Like, either Tracy's gonna the silly things in my head, which you would never, or you're gonna say, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
So I think having around too is real, to like, that's your reality.
Yes. So good. I mean, we talk about that a lot, about like, who you're surrounding yourself with, and are they your cheerleaders or are they not? And to know which ones are, so that you go to the right place in those moments where you can choose to look for the Debbie Downer and go, oh, of course I would never do it, I'm too chicken. They go, yeah, of course, don't do that, that's so scary. Right. Or you look to your cheerleader who's like, what? They're lucky to have you in that room. They're just people. They're going to be stoked. Like, you're going to add fire to that room. Go. And you're like, oh, right. Done. Right? Where like you can minimize it. Yeah. That's so cool. I mean, I think we all do it, right? Even just like with the next door neighbor, like, it doesn't have to be a famous person, where it's like new people or old people, or just pushing yourself into a less than comfortable zone of like, oh, when it's just Kimby and I, it's really easy, but now Kimby wants to bring a friend that I don't know. And it's like, maybe I just won't go.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Totally.
And then we limit ourselves, but we all do it, right?
Yes. In that vein, about that, you're going to be there. So the woman that runs this, or Happy Women Dinners, right? And Jill, and she sends out this lovely. First of all, when I RSVP'd, I was like, I'm not going to be the right. Like, I'm really nervous about it. And she sent back a lovely email, like, no, it's gonna be great. Lots of people that haven't been, like, very. Then she sends out an email the day before with all, and she's like, by the way, like, it's really casual. By casual, I mean jeans are fine. It's really low key. And just, like, come, be cozy and have a good time. I'm like, I love, these are my people, right? And I do a little internet stalking on the previous because now Pauline has been doing them up north with this organization and down here in Los Angeles. And I'm like, wow, people are like pretty chill. Like, it actually wearing jeans and a sweater. However, there's this little tiny voice that the house that hosted it is exactly where the house was in Beverly Hills. And I knew it's like, if you're going to think of a stereotypical home in Beverly Hills, like that kind of house, like a very fancy house. And in me, that's like other planned. And I was like, no, they said it was cool. They said it was chill. I'm going in chill. I was the only one. And I was like, this is perfect, because I had a soccer game in the morning. He had baseball. Like, I was going to go to soccer, go to this brunch, and then for baseball. I'm like, this is perfect. I wore like just a hair above leggings, like my Spanx black pants. Like, they're cute and they're kind of short. And I had my like Adidas like tennis shoes on, and I had a gray t-shirt and a jean jacket. I'm like, cool. Perfect Sunday, chill. I'm still ready for sports. I walk in and I just about wanted to die, right? Oh, and I've got like a fanny pack with me, like not even a purse. I followed directions. Nobody else did.
You totally did. I love it.
And nobody else did, and I thought that was spectacularly. Did. She said jeans are okay.
Oh my gosh, but jeans are okay, right?
So I was actually really proud of myself. I just kind of laughed and I was like, well, me. I don't know anybody.
You're like rule follower.
More.
Yeah. So did you flip it? Did you get comfortable? Did you like tell
I totally
yourself like,
laughed.
cool, whatever?
I totally laughed. I was like,
Oh, good.
whatever. I'm adorable.
Good, because God, you could have spent the whole time being freaking out, right?
I
So good
mean,
choice. Good choice. Kudos for you.
I was like, literally, nobody cares. And I felt like everyone had that email, and I thought, I'll bet you there's just
Maybe.
a little everybody that is thinking, oh, it's down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny. Now, Paulina, being so much more cool, was able to be casual and yet look amazing. Like she had this really cute, like pink dress on, and it was like, it
Yeah,
was
she's a
absolutely
model.
like, I know, but like it
She
was
can
like
throw
she
a rag
literally, she could
on.
like go to the market in this dress, or she could be at a fancy luncheon in Beverly Hills, and it like totally worked, right?
Yeah.
But she was so low key, so whip smart, funny, clever. Like everything she had to say was so spot on. She was just
What
like,
did she have to say? I'm dying to hear.
okay,
Sorry.
well, so let me tell you. So first, you like line up, you get your book, and you have 30 seconds with her while she signs your book. Okay. So of course, I'm like, I have to have something to say to her, right? Oh, and that's the other thing is, I mean, like this woman would catch your eye if if you had no idea who she was through a room, like catch your eye. But yet, things so not into. So like, I wasn't nervous to be there at all. Um, to her, there was a part in her book I highly recommend this. And there's a part of her book where she says like a modeling job, like coming like back into the world after she lost her husband, and there's like a lot of drama around that. She had a high profile romance. She's like coming back onto the world stage as a model. She said she like in the book she describes how she had this like wonderful time. It was so fun, and it all like came back to her, all the muscle memory, and she felt like amazing. She said she got the picture. Horrified at how, right?
Right. Yeah.
She's like that she thought she looked old and she had wrinkles and all these things. And I said to her, I go, I so felt that because how many times I've gotten all dolled up to dinner to go to a party, come home and like had a great time, felt like $1,000,000, come home in the mirror and been like, and I said to her, I go, it's so terrible how we do that to ourselves. She's like, yes. And she says in the book, she came home, she was looking at the picture, she's like, I need filler here, I need Botox here. And I said, I like, here, we've just got to stop. She's like, yes. She goes, somebody has to be the one to say stop. And I was like, yes, that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. I have to say stop.
Yes.
And
yes.
so is this beautiful creature who's I think she's, I'm not sure. She has wrinkles in her forehead probably because she is a thinker, right? And she's a reader. But she has this is like lovely and beautiful. And I said to her, I go, listen, you look better to me than I ever looked. And she likes that. And it was true.
Right. She is. She's beaming. You could tell that it's coming from within, right?
Yeah.
This is like a new freedom. So she's just stepping into it, and it's shining through her for sure. That's why I feel like I'm attracted to her whenever I see it on Instagram, whatever. And also because she's being that. And then when you read what she's saying, it's so authentic to what it feels like she's feeling. So it feels good to, go, oh yeah, she's walking the walk. And I think it's so cool to have someone that did, make her living about what she looked like, and to be able to step into it's, that's not what it's about anymore, right? I can be beautiful, and I can be a role model, and I can, like you said, stand up for women and say, stop, let's find out what's inside, and know that you are beautiful, and not come home and say, oh my God, what's wrong with me? But how about what's right with me? how
Right. Or
amazing
like,
am
how
I?
about I had a great night and I felt really good and that was fun. So this is what she said to Kimby. Nice to meet you. Let's get older and bolder together. And to that I say, fuck yeah, believe. Right? Older and bolder.
Yeah, I love it. Older and bolder.
Older and
What a great line. I love it.
she
So
talked a lot
great.
about like she was very visible and seen, but nobody ever wanted to hear from her and how frustrating and is,
Mm,
she's like, no, no, no,
sure.
I have things to say. And there is like a sense of she's still fighting that fight that no one's going to believe that she's as smart and well read and educated as she is, self-educated in a way, because she started working at 15.
Mm.
And you just kind of like sense this. And me, like, I like to stick up for the underdog. Like, I want to get on a soapbox and be like, yeah, she's smart. Listen to her. She's smart. Stop it.
Yeah. I feel like we're having a reoccurring theme, right? Because I feel like with the Pamela Anderson, it kind of feels the same way, right? That she wasn't being taken serious because she's pretty, and because she has a beautiful body and, and so it's like, and then here's kind of their rebirth of like, okay, so you no longer think I'm what identify as a gorgeous young woman, and now I'm this beautiful coming of age woman, and it's like, and now I get to show you what's underneath it, and I don't really give a fuck what you think, right? It's like a little different where it's like, we're not talking about this anymore. Now I get to actually talk, and I do feel a sadness for them, that how hard you know it is. I mean, for women, period, right? It's like we're all trying to fight with that, here they are, these role models of being the perfect women, and there's the rest of us being, just our perfect version.
Right.
And trying to not use them as what is right for us, so we have our own struggles there. And also just that I feel like, do you feel there's that struggle within women? I know I have felt it in myself, of like, almost don't want to be so pretty because I'd rather be taken serious. I don't
She
about that.
exactly. She talked about how she felt. It was almost like she described it like if you're really beautiful, like she is, then you must be really stupid. And like that idea that she had to sort of like mute beauty in order to be taken more seriously.
Mhm.
Right. So she said she like when she prime of her modeling career, she would show up with like her hair in a bun and glasses, holding a book, and people would, and often they'd be like, Pauline, like just trying to be so
Right.
irreverent, but really. And that nobody wanted to hear from her. She had an opinion about what they were doing or how they were doing it, or, like had an artistic idea to contribute. No one wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
And what I loved about her too is like she didn't hold herself on some pedestal. Threw it out to the audience. Like, have you ever felt like that? Like you had to get dolled up to be like noticed. If you were like too attractive, no one's gonna listen to you.
Mhm.
And I feel like real of her to be like, it's not just me that's so pretty, you know?
Uh-huh. Yes. Uh yeah. I totally feel that, and I also feel like it's another layer to um that I don't even know the right way to say it. Like, I almost feel like body dysmorphia, like
Mm,
that we growing up as women, and like getting older, the attention you get when you are beautiful is pretty intense.
mm-hmm.
And especially as you're, maturing, and there is the sexuality things starting to happen and stuff like that. So I know even for myself, there was times where I fluctuated this weight where it was like, leave me alone. I don't want that attention. And I didn't know how to be bold uh and deal with that energy, being my most beautiful self to myself, like feeling like that's what feels right in my body. But I would add weight to it just to try to buffer. And by the way, it never worked. And the only
Interesting.
thing that happened would
Was your
be
boobs
that
got
I
big
didn't
and
like myself.
oh.
I mean, and to be honest, like I don't know that men really give a shit what you look like, like, I mean, if
Right.
you're holding yourself and you feel beautiful, you're beautiful. It doesn't matter. And so, right. And if they can come at you at that way, who cares, right? But it was a struggle for me energetically.
Totally. I get that. And like, I know that I use my, figure and, the fact that I have red hair and that people think that I'm attractive. I know that I use that as the ante to get into conversations without giving myself enough fucking credit that I belong. I was smart enough to be at the table. I had something to contribute. Like, I couldn't even see a way to just, not be all dolled up and still be allowed to be there. And I did, I joke that I used to date for a living, right? Because I was like in business development. I was supposed to bring in money to financial institutions. And like, how else would you get someone to talk to you and pay attention? You looked great. How fucked is that?
Yeah. It's so fucked. I mean, I had, my mom's a very beautiful woman, and I had this like idea from her that that was really important. And as the push off kid that I was like, well, cool. If that's the way you think you're going to find love or you're going to find value, I'm going to do the opposite. Right. I'm going to be as funky and I'm going to be potty mouth. And I was like, I wanted to push off and be smart and be whippy and witty and, and it kind of didn't give me the opportunity to embrace how pretty. I mean, I remember an older woman saying to me at one point, "You have no idea how pretty you are." And I was mortified when she said it, because I was like, how dare you talk to me that way? It took me years to like chew on that, to go, wow, she's right. I had no idea, because I couldn't own it. I couldn't step into whatever my beauty was, because that meant that. Right. And so how challenging we have it as women, and then add the getting older piece. And so, it's like, there's so many levels to it.
I don't want to get too far away.
Like when you get older, I
don't want to get too far away from the Paulina, but I think about your child, and I think about how like your child is physically stunning, besides being incredibly smart and charming and funny and everything, right? But I have a hard time when I see her, or like when I talk to you about her. I think this is also because I'm a boy mom, is I do not want to focus on that. When I see her, I don't want to say to her, so beautiful, right? Because then I'm like, oh God, I'm just reinforcing all of those terrible, terrible messages.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, it's so funny.
And why shouldn't she feel good about that? That she, she's such a gorgeous child.
I know. It's so perfectly, as the world does. Perfect that we're talking about this today. She also spent the evening sobbing because one of her, who she thinks is her best girlfriends at school, has been walking around. So she knew her before anyone else did, from a previous school. And when Charlie was little, she sucked her thumb. And so she had buck teeth, and she's had braces. So she walked into this school with perfect teeth.
Right.
And this little girl is walking around telling everyone that she was an ugly kid and she had terrible teeth. And she is repeating it over and over. I had no idea, but my child was like gutturally sobbing from that last night. And I was like, you're 9. I cannot believe that this is happening to you. And what's the lesson? What's the lesson of like, I mean, it's just awful, right?
Oh my
God. It already starts there about what you look like, and whether, so now she's, at a even playing ground, and this kid who she trusts and really likes is
trying to knocking
her down.
Well,
and all about how she looks.
God, I'm so mad about this.
I know, it's awful.
Well, and your child being this like kind soul. So what I would want to say is I want her to laugh and go, yeah, and look at me now, bitch.
Right. I mean, I offered up every option. We worked through every option, and she would do, like, I had all of them, and she was like, Mom, that's not a very nice one. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't feel like right to you. Like, we're going to say all of them though, so you know all the options and you're going to find your own voice. I know you will, but you need to address it because you need to talk about it. She's like, she's like, I just feel self-conscious. And I'm like, you shouldn't. You're freaking gorgeous. Like, you're, I said, I mean, I said the same. It's like, okay, that was yesterday. I don't know why your friend's doing that to you.
We all do know why.
Right. So sad.
Academy Award get together with the neighbors, and my neighbor, she looks at this, goes, I am the same age, and I feel really good about myself now. And I was so that, and I'm so mad at myself for not saying anything. What I say was, you should not be proud of yourself that you can't feel good about yourself without another woman, whether she can hear it or not. And I guarantee you, like, there was probably that same, I mean, I didn't feel it or see it, but I'm looking at Paulina here, who is seriously here, like in the most modest makeup, modest dress. I mean, looking amazing. And I am certain that people, like, I was comforted by the few lines in her forehead. I'm sure that there are people going there, well, she has 4 and I only have 2, or like, well, she looks pretty good, but, why do we fucking pick on each other? Why do we have to pick on each other to make ourselves better? And that's what this dumb bitch at Charlie's got it. My mother's listening.
I did dare myself this morning. I'm like, I have to make a phone call, even though my child doesn't want me to, but mother to mother, woman to woman, we got to do better. And I think it starts with us, and we have to ask for our kids to do better, and we have to ask for ourselves and our friends to do better. And that's about using our words, even when it's really fucking uncomfortable, and being humble about it and being forthright. And I promise you, I'm going to get back to you about this conversation, because I know.
Well, I think it's an easy way to put it, right? Like, you put it as a benefit to her, like, hey, I feel really bad for Susie Q, that she must be feeling badly about something, that she's digging up what Charlie looked like when she was 6 for everybody. And is she all right?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't do it that way, but
Could you not hear my phone just ringing? I hope.
No, I didn't.
Oh, good.
We have I work in the chat. I work in a predominantly male industry, and it's hard to be seen. And for them to accept that women actually know what we are doing. Ugh, sister. Yep. So frustrating, right?
Yeah.
So frustrating. And just keep walking the good walk, right? And just know your value, and again, what comes out of their mouth is about them, right? And so I know it's frustrating.
But there is this societal playbook that says women should be seen and not heard, and then they should look really pretty, and there's zero value to them if they don't. And that's cute. Maybe it's too.
Yeah, it's so hard. And I think in business, so tricky too. We're talking about that beauty, strength, right? Like, how do you show up? Do you have to be manly? Do you have to act like an asshole? I've met so many women asshole, big business people. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And also, it's such a struggle. Like, can we do better? And can we not? Like, will we just not be taken seriously? Will we not be given those opportunities unless we show up in our manliness? Like, I don't have the answers. I'm just saying it pisses me off. It's just like unfair. But what if you got it all?
Well, I think I was, when my mom working like in the 80s and even into the early 90s when I went to work, like the style for a businesswoman was to dress like a small man. That oversized blazers with the shoulder pads and the button and it's so interesting. Like, you couldn't just be feminine, I guess, whatever that means, right? Like, all those things are so charged now.
Yes.
But yeah.
Just be you, whatever that is, right?
Whatever that is.
Right? What feels good to you? What feels pretty to you? What feels strong and authentic and whatever, you know?
I think what Pauline is doing a great job of, and I think that she's a tremendous model for, is she's owning exactly who she is, like all the parts of her. Like she knows that woman, she gets to be that. And she acknowledges like it's a gift, right? Like she didn't do anything to get that. But you know, she poses on her body rocks. Like she's owning all of it. And she's writing and she's speaking her voice. And I think that she's doing a great job of just being really she is certain armor that can be pierced. I think she makes it sound like she's at a place where she's willing to say, if you hate, if that's really, she is able to say that is about you. And she like will even respond negative comments on Instagram, or she like will aggregate a bunch of them, post them, which I think is really funny when she answer it.
Yeah.
And she spoke about at the luncheon how somebody on about how you know she's not so famous anymore. Certainly to our generation, we know her, but like she said to younger people, like she's not. She has like walked into places and felt invisible, and so she's experiencing some of that also. And somebody wrote on her Instagram, well, now you know what it's like to feel like the rest of us, and how she contributed to everybody else feeling badly about themselves because she was so beautiful. And she like read that post. This was kind of like, I don't even know what to do with this, kind of, you know, like it's so sad.
Yeah, I'm not
like,
pretty in
she have
spite
to
of
be,
you.
right. Exactly.
Right. And may all of us be our own version of pretty and feel good about it. And why should she feel
Yes.
bad about hers? Right. She's not doing it in spite.
Right. But that idea that women are constantly comparing themselves. And I think if we're honest, I mean, fuck, I do it and I want to be doing it, but I do.
Right. Because they're selling you what pretty is. They're
Right.
selling you what sexy is. They're selling you, you know, what's valuable or, you know,
Yeah.
attractive. And it's hard
And
to
she,
step away and go, who cares what they're selling you? What do
yeah.
I think?
Well, she even laughs about the fact that she was like selling like firming face cream and she was like, had, you know, perfect skin and everything's in the right places.
Right.
And, you know, what a joke that is.
Right. She's selling you at 30 something,
She
you
was
know, or
probably
25.
19, you
Yeah.
know?
Silly. I know. I always watch those commercials. I'm like, that girl's in high school. Yeah.
So I met really nice women. There were also some really inappropriate questions. Angry. I was
Like personal
so
questions or
she was there and to ask the personal, and she talks a lot about her personal life in the book. So it's not like it was completely off base, but the way in which they were asked wasn't like so okay, Pauline, what it's like to be a celebrity, that you're like a bubble and the outside of a bubble is reflective, so really people see like themselves in you, and like that's they don't see you as a real person. And she just explained that concept, which I thought was a beautiful way to put it. And in the same breath, like literally the next question, like you would ask about somebody, like it was about her love life, and I gotcha. Like I know who that guy's name, even though she doesn't want to say that. Like it was just so gross. And
like trying to trap her.
and I feel like she could have asked the same question in a way, and probably would have happily answered it without it being like, "Well, I know this about you," and like, yeah, everybody knows that. You're not really. It's not new information. It did feel gotcha, and that really pissed me off. And then somebody had the nerve to say that she had like written a manuscript. Could she, you know, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. Yeah. Opportunists. That happens
It just
everywhere.
made me so mad.
Just one in every group.
Yeah. And
for
then
sure.
Like a lot of people's questions started about like all about them instead of actually her.
Like what?
Like woman started talking about how she had an older husband and how they like it just like was all like all the preamble was about her. And I don't even and whatever she asked or whatever point she got to is so like unimportant or wasn't stated well that I don't even remember what it was. All I remember is her vomiting about like I didn't come here for
She
your
was trying to relate to her.
I guess, but I don't know. So it made me really disappointed in some of the questions that I was like, you didn't get her at all. She's willing to have a conversation with you, and yet you're still treating her like she's up on some pedestal.
Right.
That made me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be hard for her too.
So I feel like my phone just answered its own call from my insurance agent, but that would have been really fun. It did not. I'm sure he has a lot to say on the subject. But I did meet some very nice women that were super cool. So like that, I stepped out of my comfort zone, you know.
Yeah.
Talk to people.
Let's step back to the beginning. What about the Happy Women dinners? How did you get
I have no
involved
idea.
in them?
I don't know. I just maybe saw this woman, Jill, on Instagram and put myself on a list because I'm a happy woman. It's like, that sounds good.
So you just stretched yourself and tried it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And it was
fun to find new things to like do and learn. And like, you know, when you go, you never know what you're going to learn.
You never know.
I think you learn from the people that annoy you too, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to use my question more like this, or, you know, like I always feel like I learn just as much from the don'ts as I do. You didn't. No.
Allow me to bond with the lovely lady next to me. Like, oh yeah, this is why I hate people and don't leave the house. I'm like, did they hear?
Oh dear.
I know. In the chat, it's hard to meet new people in midlife. Not if you leave the house.
Right. You got to push yourself. You got to go to these kind of things. You got to find things and find your person.
Go, you know, listen, I followed the recipe that we give often, which is find something that you're interested in, go there, and you'll meet other people that are interested in those things too. So,
yeah. And if it makes you a little queasy, push yourself.
It totally did.
That means you're growing.
I did not eat. Like, I can't eat in those social settings. It was a beautiful brunch spread.
Uncomfortable.
Well, and also in our lives, right? Like, there's always something stuck in my teeth. Like, well, I can't eat the quinoa salad. Like, that's going to be everywhere. I can't eat the thing with all the green in it. I'm not going to eat the onions and talk to people. Like,
you're like, I will eat when I leave.
So I have, I think, baseball field.
Perfect. I think also you have to be open to meeting new people. I mean, I was just on the plane and sat this woman sat next to me, and you know, instead of no talk, I went into real talk, you know, and either it's a fit or it isn't, right? But you know when someone is, and you just kind of jump in. I told Kibby, it was like, I believe in the, like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours, you know. It's like, I think that when I share something real, there's that moment where someone's either going to lean in and be real, or they're going to go, okay, nice meeting you, you know, and that works perfectly for me, because either it's a no or it's a yes. And, you know, the next step is asking the next question or talking about the next real thing. And, you know, and then left with like phone numbers, and, you know, there's that, you got to do the work to it too. Like, wow, you're willing to do that. You're open to that. Those are the kind of people I want in my life. Let's hang out. You know, let's talk. I
think there's a realization, like even with Paulina, everybody is looking for connection, right? Like,
yes,
told her story is because she wants to connect in a different way to people. And so I think when you recognize that people are feeling just like you, meet new people, other people want to have conversations with strangers, other people want to hear what you have to say. I think that takes a lot of the pretense out of it. And like you said, like, you'll know in 2 minutes if some, of course you meet those people and they're like, ew, who are you? Why are you talking to me? But mostly I think you're met with, even if it's just 5 minutes of connection with somebody over nothing, like that brings joy into your day.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's all it is, but still connection and still joy. And I think, you know, that's what we're doing here too. We're trying to find, you know, more people like us, right? We're all connected in this midlife era of our life, so we all have that in common, and can
Yeah,
we just talk about all the things, and this is like a place to meet up and have those like-minded people together, and that's the intention, and that's what we're so happy is happening, and looking for all of you to invite your amazing people to our community, so we keep growing the same like-minded people, so we can
totally.
have this safe place to have all these conversations, and that you guys can have a place to have yours too.
So yay, Vanessa, she made a new friend at the nail salon.
Oh,
I
nice.
mean, why not?
That's perfect, and that's what it is, and you never know, that friend might have another friend that's really great.
Yeah.
And there's that moment where we're just talking about, like, oh no, Kimby's bringing a friend. Well, how about, okay, let's see who that friend is. Take a deep breath
Yes.
and dare yourself to go, and just know all you have to do is be yourself, and
Yes.
it'll be a fit or it won't. And so I think we're in the era of our life too where it's not like we're trying to mold to be liked. We are trying to
Right.
find people that, when we are our true selves, that we like, and that's a match.
Yes. And the people that make us our best self also.
Mm-hmm. But we're choosing. We're not looking to be
Yeah.
chosen anymore. You
Totally.
know?
Yes. Um, yes. I wrote a text um, to my friend. She went through sorority rush a few, and basically that exact thing. I said, go into this with you choosing what you want. I said, this is in, over the next few years, you're going to have many options, but you're going to be interviewed for something. So right now it's a sorority, or it's a job, or it's a date. And if you don't go into it to please somebody else, to be chosen, go in there deciding if you're choosing that boyfriend. I don't know if she listened to
Mm-hmm.
me, but I thought it was really good fucking advice.
Well, it's what you would have told yourself at that age, if you could
If
have,
only if
right?
I could have told myself that at that age.
Yeah.
Instead, I was performing at all moments. Love me, like me, choose, hire me, date me, be my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me I'm okay.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just want to thank you and for giving us this platform where I can confess that I was really nervous to this afternoon. It was a super fun, entertaining, enriching afternoon. I highly recommend Paulina No Filter. It's an excellent read. She's a wonderful writer. She has really important things to say. And it's really like a touching look into a very human life. So I highly recommend it.
That sounds inspiring.
Yeah. And thank you, Vanessa, today. We're always happy to have
And
you.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And come join the happy hour. Come chat with us. You can always email us. You can always DM us. We're here.
Yeah.
And happy to you.
Yeah.